on the Zohar, and how do you explain the Zohar to people who've never heard of it before?
So, usually, I explain that the Zohar is like the Bible of Kabbalah, if you will. There's two things that I often tell them. First of all, the first language that it was translated into was, from its original ancient language, was Latin. By the Christian Kabbalists. So right away, the book may look religious looking, but once they understand that it was embraced by the Christian Kabbalists and was translated to Latin first, people are, okay, this is more of a book of wisdom than the Quran or something that's religious looking. So usually I delve into that, and then there's the practical applications of the book that deal with my life, and those are usually the two directions I explain to people when they come in right off the bat.
Nikki, do you have a difficulty trying to make sure people who get into the early stage to separate wisdom from religion? Because some people come in that way, and like for them it's one, especially those who are very religious and they leave a lot of things up. I leave it up to God. I'll just pray to God and hopefully everything works out. How do you kind of work through that and make sure that they understand that these are two different levels?
Right. Well, if you are of one religion, it's like you say you're Catholic, you're not Buddhist, you're Jewish, you're not Muslim. But you can study Kabbalah and be of any religion. So you can't put yourself in a box and say, I do this and I don't do that, because it's not limited. And it doesn't limit people that way. And when people understand that they can study something and still keep it a part of whatever else they do, is that it becomes something that's a part of you without taking away from anything else that's you.
Now, going back to the book, Yehuda, you say the words, if you look at it closely, the power to change everything. People may ask, what kind of change can I expect when I read this book, or when I eventually decide to study Kabbalah? Is it minor changes? Is it tweaks in my personality, or is it what people say transformative change and really powerful change?
Well, the truth is, I'm more dealing. I want people to get to the bigger changes. I want people to get to the bigger changes in their life. And, sometimes it seems like there's certain parts of our life that we make mistakes over and over and over. Certain parts we sort of are okay with, but there's certain parts of our life where we somehow make the same mistake 5, 6 times. And those are the things, those are the core issues that I'm trying to fix. You have an election coming up here in the Philippines, right? There was elections before, 6 years ago.
We've done our bad habits.
It's like, if the country came together and said, you know what, we want to choose a leader who will really represent us, not a leader who represents themselves, which unfortunately has happened here. So if we could build a critical mass of consciousness of let's empower the leader to really represent us. We'll help him, he'll help us. Those are the bigger changes that I'm trying to just awaken people to.
How long does it take for someone to really start feeling the major change in their lives once they start studying Kabbalah? I mean, when they get the basic fundamentals right away, do they feel a difference already in them and the way they view life?
Well, there's probably two aspects. The change of consciousness could come rather quickly. So suddenly we start looking at things a little differently. And that happens fast. But just looking at it and actually changing, it takes some time, because the person who we are right now is an accumulation of choices I've made in the past. A lot of those choices weren't so great. So we planted seeds, we've grown trees, not the best. We're starting to plant new seeds with our new awakened consciousness that takes some time to develop into something. So the consciousness could change instantly, but those manifestations of that may take some time.
I want to ask you guys this. How has the relationship been between you guys and Nikki? Nikki's our only Filipino instructor, and your efforts to help her and bring it to the Philippines. What's that been like? How that direction to bring it here?
Well, first of all, she's the reason why I'm here. She's like, you've got to come to Manila.
I know she's been barking about this, what, 2.5 years now?
She's like, you got to, and so, if anything, sometimes you want to think that you're the teacher, but she's actually taught me, brought me here, so it's every time where you could be a student and also a teacher, and a teacher and also a student, you know that there's a good relationship.
What's it like, Nikki, living and learning and teaching in the Kabbalah Center, and you know, interacting with the Berg family on a daily basis?
Oh, it's an amazing journey, and it's full of lessons every day. And the best thing about a spiritual teacher is the way they teach you is not from always what they tell you, but because you see how they live, and you see how each of the principles are something that they apply daily in their lives, and that this isn't something that's just taught, but it's something we live.
And when you teach, what's it like? Is it easier to teach the younger people who don't have that many experiences in life yet, who aren't as stubborn probably as older people, but then again, they can also be the more idealistic, more gung-ho in their dreams? Not
necessarily, because it's the older people who have gone through so many challenges and difficulties in their life, and they're searching and seeking answers. And people at that stage is that they truly want to change. Like, they can't take the negativity the way it's been, and they have so much desire to change things, and they're so open to that. That it's for everyone.
For those who may be interested right now, they're listening to us, or they might attend the talk tonight, how does it work out? How can they study Kabbalah here from the Philippines? I know you're not based here, but can you explain to them the technicalities of how you can work something out with them, and how they can actually continue the study, and as Yehuda said, make that tree grow?
There are many different ways to connect. They can start by picking up a book, one of Yehuda's books. There's a free lecture tonight at the Rockwell tent at 7 o'clock that Yehuda is going to give. And after that, there are many ways to find us. We're online, yehudaberg.com, Kabbalah.com.
He's on Twitter.
Twitter at Yehuda Berg, Facebook, facebook.com/Yehuda Berg, yehudaberg.com, and very into the social network, which has let younger people join the wisdom.
I follow you on Twitter. I follow your email. And you have one of the shortest emails. I mean, it's short, sweet, and straight to the point. It really gets you thinking. Some people have these wisdom emails and these reflections, and they're so long, and with a long story. But you got like 3 sentences.
I try to keep it simple. I try to keep it short. Also, my attention span's not that long. I have a little ADD happening. So I try to keep, if I'm interested, I know people will be interested.
All right, before I let you go, I can't not ask this. Can we just ask, what's it like knowing and working with Ashton and Demi and them? We're fans, so we can't not ask it. Forgive me.
So first of all, I emailed him something, and he says, can I get back to you in an hour? I'm just presenting at the Golden Globes. So that's kind of sort of just an interaction that happens all the time. I mean, at the end of the day, he's just a good person. They're just great people. You could say whatever you want. Maybe at the beginning I was like, oh my God, it's Ashton to me. But now they're like friends. They're like, it's like you guys sitting on the couch.
That's
it's not. It doesn't talk to me anymore like that. It's just now on a very personal level. Friends, birthdays and stuff.
That's pretty cool. Well, once again, for those of you who are interested to learn more about Kabbalah, the power to change everything, meet Yehuda Berg tonight. That's at 7 p.m. at the Rockwell tent. Absolutely for free. So come and bring everybody you can and learn more about it. And I'd like to thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much.
Finally, I meet you in person. Yes. Thank you, Nikki. We'll see you later tonight. All right.